All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Clairton. As Mayor of the City of Clairton, I couldn't be more proud to be here today than any other time in my life. The City of Clairton, for so many years, we clawed, we scratched, we begged, we borrowed. This project that we're about to unveil today is probably the largest development in the City of Clairton in the last 50 years. We hope to bring new revitalization to our city business district, and we're very excited. There was a whole lot of people that were involved, and I'm hoping I don't leave anyone out, and I will start thanking some people. Unfortunately, I only have 5 minutes, but it's going to be a little bit longer, but I still want to tell the story about how this all originated. But first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here today, and I especially want to thank my city manager, Howard, my council people, Tony Curta, Richard Ford, Denise Johnson Clemens, Lee Lossage, our solicitor, Darren Gabriel. And most of all, I'd like to thank my mom and dad and God for making this even possible today. I never really thought that, being mayor of the city of Clairton, when I got out of high school, I was planning on going to the mill and being a steel worker. And I don't even know how they all started, but becoming the mayor, I mean, it's a never-ending job. And my wife, God bless her as well. We can't go out for dinner, go golfing without somebody saying, "Hey, Mayor, I need to talk to you about something." Most of the time, it's not good. So you can imagine how excited I am today, almost to the point where I want to cry. But just to have something exciting as this, it makes it all that much worth it. Because some people say, "Mayor, what do you get, about $80,000, $100,000 a year?" I said, "No, $162 every 2 weeks." So it goes a long way. But I want to thank all these special guests for being here today. I got my friends from the Lions Club, the VFW, the American Legion, my friends from U.S. Steel and the staff, school board directors, the administration, some members from the CMA, Jefferson Foundation, and all the business owners, the Unity Group, Wen's Girls, and all the other groups like the library, and all the special board members from the City of Clairton. This project is not for myself and the council. This is for the residents and the people in Clairton that's been so patient for so many years, and it just means a whole lot. And obviously, I have to thank people like Laura Zinski from Mon Valley Initiative, Andrew Ritchie, EDS, Joey Lynn Albrecht, Lisa Brown, Maddie Nagel, and Felix Fusco. That Maddie and Felix are running our produce marketplace now. That was one of the first developments we had in Clairton, and it was a springboard to the success we have today. And my hope is that it's going to transpire into many, many more businesses. The Speedway was built a couple of years ago with private money, and that corridor down on State Street, or 837, is well sought after right now. We have plenty of people interested in developing around the Speedway. So our hope as mayor and council is that this new building, 49 new affordable apartments and 6 new storefronts, possibly will bring about 100 new residents to the City of Clairton. And we're so excited about that because we know other small businesses, which we're already hearing from, are very interested in being a part of this big explosion in development. So I'm going to introduce some speakers here in a minute, but I just want to tell the quick story. I think back in 2016, the City of Clairton came out of Act 47. For 29 years, we were running under state control. We didn't have enough money, funding, and we couldn't manage our own affairs. So we were coddled by the state. We come out of that status in 2016, I believe it was in September. Shortly after that, within a year, we were awarded an MPP, a Neighborhood Partnership Program grant, and that was done through the state and the DCED, Dennis Davin and the committee. And one of the things that I could say, we put together an NPP steering committee, all the people in town and surrounded around us, nonprofits, anyone that had a part in rebuilding Clairton. And we were meeting for 2 and 3 years, and we were still having 25 to 30 people come in each month for the meeting. It never died out, and it was just so encouraging to say, "Hey, we want to help Clairton, what can we do?" And we didn't even know where to start, but the MPP was a start for us. And that was saying, "Hey, listen, we're standing on our own 2 feet, we're financially stable for now, but we need help from the big boys and from our politicians." And obviously people like Rich Fitzgerald, Allegheny County, Mike Doyle, Jim Brewster, Austin Davis. I mean, Austin went to talk to the people from the PHFA for us to say, "Hey, listen, I represent Clairton, and they're asking for your help. And last year they didn't get awarded the grant. We need to help them, and things got started. We were so excited to hear that our name was mentioned in that grant application that we were awarded in our council. And like I said, these guys that are on my council, I feel like Ben Roethlisberger, and I got a bunch of superstars around me. We have meetings, and they fight for their respective awards. At the end of the day, we still move forward with what's positive for Clairton. And we have different opinions, but we are all working together. And one last thing about this MPP, we did a lot of social events and pop-up events for the community. But obviously people in town that want to get reelected, people want to see development and bricks and mortar. So I reached out to my good friend Jonna Pro, and I said, Jonna, we're like one in our third year MPP. What can we do here? You know, we want to do a big development for the city. And she said, Mayor, you know Laura Zinski? I said, I know of her. And she said, reach out to the Mon Valley Initiative. These people can help. And that's exactly what happened. Laura Zinski and Andrew Ritchie come to Clairton and said, what do you guys need? With their expertise, they were able to put this together with a large other, capacity of a group, of people that were helping. But I mean, it just transpired into this rolling effect. And we're so excited. And like I said, with all you people here, my family and friends and corporate sponsors, I can't thank Highmark, BNY Mellon for their support for the tax credits. All these people come forward to them and for us. And like I said, I want to read my paper, but I don't have my glasses on and it's sunny. But if there's anybody that I forgot, believe me, you're not insignificant. We'll get back to thanking you later. But I want to start first by introducing probably one of the instrumental people in Allegheny County that helps out the city at any given time. It's proud for me to introduce this fella, our county executive, Rich Fitzgerald.
But really, to you and your council members and all the folks in Clairton, this is a special day. A lot of hard work and a lot of partnership went together to make this happen. I also want to thank, I know you're going to hear from him in a minute, but Secretary Davin. Secretary Davin has been here a number of times for Governor Wolf. Governor Wolf, when he got elected, made sure that we didn't forget communities in the Commonwealth that previously had been left behind. And Clairton probably fell into that category. You mentioned how many years under state oversight, and then coming out of Act 47. I remember Secretary Davin being here that day to sign the papers at the Borough Building. And it really is the partnership of everybody working together. Mon Valley Initiative, Laura and her team, and government at all levels. Congressman Doyle been just a huge advocate for Clairton and making sure that the federal resources that he could bring and the clout that he has comes back to Clairton. You mentioned Senator Brewster. Senator Brewster, I see she's here today. Thank you to be here on behalf of Senator Brewster and Austin Davis. And Austin used to be in my office all the time when he worked for me. And now he's in my office all the time asking for things for Clairton. So he's fighting on behalf of Clairton. He really is. You have an advocate there who is on your, give Austin a hand for the great work that he does. So we really do have a team that comes together. Mayor, for you leading it and your members of council, and then for the state, the county. Lance Chimka from Economic Development also here today. I want to thank Lance for all the work that he does with our department in economic development. But this is a special day. The sun is shining in more ways than one on all of us here today. And then again, for the corporate partners at PNC and UPMC, BNY Mellon, all the different folks who come together in this community. It's what makes this community strong. And I'm excited about Clairton. I'm excited about Clairton's future. I'm optimistic about Clairton's future because Clairton's best days are ahead of us. Thank you. God bless.
Well, it's a great day in the city of Clairton. Oh, come on, you can get better. It's a great day in the city of Clairton. I remember we were here maybe a year or 2 years ago when we cut the ribbon for the produce market up the street, and we said that Clairton's best days were still ahead of them. And today is a confirmation that is absolutely true. I've been your state representative for 3 years, and I remember when I first got elected to office, I came to Clairton, I met with the mayor, and I said, Mayor, what do you want to do? I said, what do you expect from me as your state representative? What do you want? And he said, you know, we want to redo our downtown. We went to PHFA for tax credits and we came up short in the last round. I need your help to get that project done. And I said, Mayor, we're going to get that project done, come hell or high water. And so for 3 years, we worked with MVI and DCED to make sure that Clairton had the best application possible. And the county executive mentioned this, but this was really a team effort. And the little story that I have is I remember we had a meeting. I was going to bring council and the mayor to my office in Harrisburg to meet with Brian Hudson, the CEO of PHFA, because I really wanted him to understand how important this project was to the community. And I think we had a snowstorm, so we ended up having to do it on a call. And I remember after that meeting, I saw Brian a couple weeks later. We're walking in the Capitol, and it was like 2 days before PHFA was going to award the tax credits. And I said to him, I'm on the escalator going up, he's coming down. I said, Brian, we good? Is Clairton good? And he said, Rep, I don't know. He said, I'm not sure. He said, we're taking another look at the project. That didn't make me feel good. That didn't make me feel good. So I went up and around, I came down, I said, Brian, this is an important project for Clairton. I said, and I'm not taking no for an answer. And he said, okay, well, we'll see. So I went back to my office and I called Secretary Davin. And I said to Dennis, I said, Dennis, you were in Clairton when they came out of Act 47 and the state and the governor made a commitment to Clairton that we were going to be there for them to help rebuild their community if they did what they needed to do. And Dennis said, you're absolutely right, we made that commitment. And the next morning I got a call from Brian Hudson and said, you know, Rep, we're going to award the tax credits at the board meeting. But that wasn't even the end of it. Because it was awarded on a conditional use because we still had a $3 million gap to close. And I said, if you give us those tax credits, don't count us out, we're going to close that gap. And County Executive Fitzgerald stepped in with the $3 million to close the gap. So I really wanted to illustrate all of that to say that this was truly a team project from local, state, and county officials working to make sure that this project happened. I could not be prouder to be the state representative for Clairton today, to see this project through to fruition. And it's just the beginning. We're going to continue to rebuild Clairton and make sure that our best and brightest days are still ahead of us. So thank you, and let's break ground on this.
Having me here today. Unfortunately, Senator Brewster could not be here, but he sends his congratulations. He says how proud he is of the residents and the communities and the officials and the partners in the city of Clairton. You know, I was talking with him and I'm on my way here and I'm thinking to myself, you know, about your unity group and your community day and all those things. What is that? What is it? It's unity. It's all these different pieces coming together, you know, and I can take this off. The senator, thank you, the senator has this large picture in his office. And I always think about that picture. And today, you know, it's a picture his family gave him, and it's a large picture. But as you go closer and closer to the picture, and you may have seen these before, there's a bunch of little pictures in this large picture. And today, while it's a large event, it's another one of those pictures that as we stand back and look at the city of Clairton, we see how it continues to grow. And that larger picture gets stronger, and gets brighter, and gets clearer. And that all happens because of each and every one of you. And so I want to thank you so much for having me here today. The Senator, again, you know, sends his congratulations, and we look forward to working with you more in the future. Thank you.
It is great to be here today. It's especially great to be here and see a lot of my friends that I don't get a chance to see too often just with this, my position. Folks like Rich Fitzgerald, County Executive, is doing a great job here. Austin Davis, Representative, Senator Brewster, Allison, thanks for those words. Between Senator Brewster and Representative Davis, you guys have a lot of good representation here because they are always in my office in Harrisburg. So, and it's usually not a pleasant meeting because they're mad about us not giving money to places like Clairton, or they're thanking us for giving money to places like Clairton. But it is great. You got a lot of good representation here. And again, it's nice to be on this side of the state. I don't get as much this type of a warm welcome on the other side of the state. They don't know. Penguins fan. So they like the other orange team. But so one of the things I want to just talk about is again some of the things that have been said by the mayor, but just within the last 5 years, what has happened here in Clairton? The fact that you came out of Act 47 after 29, almost 30 years. It is truly a testament to the things that you've done, the things that you've had to do to get to the point where you could get out from under state administration. I forget the words you used, but Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to have an oversight like that. But you did what you needed to do to get out of that. And a lot of thanks goes to everybody here from Clairton and this guy over here, Mayor Lattanzi. And we really appreciate the opportunity to work with him. And I think Representative Davis said it about the fact that we made a commitment when we came out of Act 47. It's not just for Clairton. We make this commitment in this administration that every community that does what they need to do, that really, tightens their belt, does everything that they need to do to reduce expenses and try to get more revenues in. We owe that, and come out of Act 47, we owe them. We, the state, owe them. We want to be able to come back and do as much as we can to make sure they get the support that they need from the Commonwealth. So we're going to continue to do that. This is not the last thing that we're going to do. We're going to continue to support Clairton as we go on. When you look at everybody that's been involved in this thing, and Mayor Lattanzi kind of talked about it, there were some critical pieces that were there. Certainly us in government, Representative Davis talked about that. But Mon Valley Initiative, Laura Zinski and her folks did a great job. And she's been doing that for years and years and years. Laura's over there. She does. Folks, I've done a number of these events, not only in this position, but in my previous position, working for Rich. And in the Mon Valley, she's always there, and her folks are always there. And I think Representative Davis said it, and I think the mayor said it really well, that they're doing it because they have the expertise to do these types of things. And they also have the credibility at the state level. And we need to continue to do as much as we can to support them as they go through the Mon Valley and do these types of projects. Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency, I'm not sure if anybody's here from PHFA, but Representative Davis kind of threw it out there. I mean, they were not sold on this, and I think we had to do a lot of arm twisting, but also tell the story, and tell the story the right way. And again, if anybody hears a story of Clairton and what you've gone through, from Mayor Lattanzi, you really understand. Over the course of the few years, people have gotten to the point of understanding. So Brian Hudson, a good friend of mine, who's executive director, and then we have Robin Weissman, who's the current executive director of PHFA. We thank them enough for the work that they're doing and they'll continue to do in the Mon Valley and hopefully in Clairton. And again, this isn't the last time you're going to see me. This is the last time you're going to see us at DCPD. Jonna and Allie Doyle there, they look at the things that you do and the things that you need to do. And they put an emphasis on that when they're talking to us in leadership at the state level. So you got a lot of people that are pulling for you and a lot of people that are working real hard for you. I want to thank you for allowing me to be here and appreciate it and look forward to cutting the ribbon when this is built. Thank you so much.
Of course, Dennis already mentioned about it, Laura Zinski. And like I said, when I talked to Joanna Pro, she said you need to reach out to Laura. And Laura, and when I talked to Laura, I just could not believe that the experience and the presence of mind that she brought, a go-getter. And I remember with this application that we had to make it better. It was already probably maybe 1,000 pages. I mean, the book was very large, and then they had to go back for you to find it. So anyway, it's something there with our NPP just recently changed, and Laura gets a phone call, Laura, we need you to go ahead and do this. And she goes, okay, I can do that when you need it, tomorrow. She's the lady that gets it done, and she does it in ample time. So I don't know what else to say about it, but she's awesome. Come on up, Laura.
Thank you all. So I just want to say, this project is hard. The reason that it was so difficult at PHFA is because normally tax credit deals are submitted, and maybe they're just being funded by the tax credits, and that's enough. And maybe they have one or two other sources of funding that are needed to make it work and to be financially viable over the long term. This project has 8 sources of funding, so that's why it's hard. There are a ton of partners, so that makes it hard. But that also is a testament to what it takes to get these things done, and all the people who partnered with us to make this happen. It's been astounding and totally fantastic. So I want everybody who participated in the planning that the mayor talked about over the last couple of years, if you were at one of those meetings, give me a wave. Because there was a lot of people there who came to a lot of meetings. and to craft a vision that we could then come and try to implement and try to do the lift of getting it actually developed. But the community crafted that vision for us, so we were able to carry on with it. It was the mayor, it was the council, it was all the people who came, it was Economic Development South and the fundraising they did for the NPP, with CNY Mellon and Highmark who contributed to that. Jefferson Regional Foundation was instrumental in helping support those processes. All that, was infrastructure that had to be laid for this to get started, for MBI to be able to come in and have a real estate development component. And obviously, PHFA, this project looked hard to them. They have a lot of easier projects that are easier to fund and kind of, fit in the program a lot easier. And so this really took a lot of extra attention, and we could not have done it without Representative Davis and the mayor and Dennis at the Harrisburg level, and that was just huge for us. And then, as he said, there was still a gap. And Rich Fitzgerald and his team at Economic Development, Lance and Casa and Nathan, they filled the gap. And so this project was able to go forward with the completed application at the end of 2019. So it took a ton of people to just get the application completed. So this is a big deal. The project team is the next big deal. We have the privilege of working with Mystic Construction. I think Bud's here, and maybe some of the other folks, Bud Wilson and Jeff Caldwell, and Sean Schweiger. I think they're back over there. There's Bud, I see you. They are so committed to pricing. They've held steady through COVID and all these delays, and just have remained a faithful partner. They have Roxanne, she's out at the table. They're looking for local people to be employed. So it matters to us, and I know it matters to you guys, and it matters to them too. And of course, we need all kinds of other experts and specialists. Our partners in the architecture world, LGA Architects, they're back there too. I see Jonathan here. And we have engineers, WBCM. I saw John, he's over there. Taking down all this and trying to put new construction up against an existing building, it's not easy either. This is not an easy project in terms of the construction either. And all this paperwork and legal, there's so much documentation, like the mayor said, thousands of pages. So I got to give a shout out to Michelle Ford. She's our attorney. She's sitting back there in the middle. She helped us navigate all that. We really need it. It's hard work. So last but not least, of course, is Mon Valley Initiative's other staff. Andrew Ritchie has been the quarterback on this. John Bichetti is our construction manager. April Hoover's our CFO. They're all here. Grant has been doing community outreach, working with Roxanne. There are folks who just keep on working. We have a pandemic. We have to work from home. We have to work crazy hours. We have to work with little kids running around in our houses trying to, learn in school, don't have daycare. This has been a hard year for everybody to get anything done. This was a hard project under the best of circumstances, and this has not been the best of circumstances. So I really appreciate my staff. I appreciate my board members who are here. I see Dale and Mary Carroll. They have to agree to these things. It's not my call. I don't just get to say. The board has to come along with me, and they've had courage and been risk takers for us. And I'm just super deeply grateful. And the final group I'm going to talk about is PNC Bank, because PNC Bank agreed to buy these tax credits that we were awarded from PHFA. So it's truly them that is making this long-term 15-year investment with Mon Valley Initiative to be the owners and the operators of what will be a block of mixed-use construction. And I'm just so grateful that they are willing to take this risk with us. They've kept their pricing even through COVID, even through all the crazy things that have happened. They have stayed steady. Spencer Singer's here today, and I think he's up next, but we are just so grateful for PNC and for the work that they are doing to help us get this over the line as well. So thank you all. We are so excited to be at this point.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to invite my council up here. I feel selfish doing this by myself because no doubt it's been a team. If you guys don't want to speak, please just come up and stand there because it's about what we did together. So please come on up there. Before I move on, like I said, I appreciate you guys. I know how busy things are, and I know how many different events are going on. And for you guys to come to the city of Clairton to be a part of this, we all as a group thank you, and we can't thank you enough because we know this has not been possible if it wasn't up from the guidance and the help of you guys. Thank you so much from the city of Clairton. One other remark I got to make is, and I work for U.S. Steel, and I see a lot of people. They don't all live in the city limits, and everyone has their own opinion. And they live in other areas that are more affluent. And sometimes they look at me and, hey, what's going on in Clairton? Why are you the mayor there? Why is this? Why is that? You know what, guys? I grew up in this neighborhood, this community. I don't care what color you are, what race you are, what gender. I consider you a friend of the city of Clairton because I've been here for 56 years. And I don't know too many places you could go and walk the streets, or you could go to the supermarket, or you could go to any store in town. There's always somebody there that wants to strike up a conversation. I've been to other places for hours, and people just look at me like they don't want to talk to you. Clairton has a special group of people, and like I said, that's what makes this project so gratifying, because now we're able to give it back to the city of Clairton and the constituents. For umpteen years sat here, no grocery store, no bank, not a whole lot of recreation, so on and so forth. The only thing I can say is this is our major project, and we believe this is going to be the start or cornerstone of the business district. We have some other developers that are interested in maybe a medical center. We have some things going on Century Townhomes. We got some developments down on State Street. We've been getting a lot of help from U.S. Steel. They've been doing our playgrounds and some other things in town. There's a lot of wheels turning right now, things going on. I see a lot of positive. And then when people bring up negative and say, hey, Mayor, what about this? Well, of course, you guys know negativity always makes the news. And then if you have a young man in town that may not have a single parent or grown up by his grandmother, it's so easy to get involved in mischievous things. I mean, if you don't have a job or, maybe you didn't get the proper education, it's easy for you to fall in that trap. But we as people, we got to be compassionate. And that's what this group and my group brings here. We understand our community and we're there to help. Nobody's here to go to judge anyone and say, why aren't you part of this? Why'd you do that? We understand that everyone's not the same. And just like myself in this group right here, did you think for a minute that we all woke up one day and said, we're going to be mayor, we're going to be council? Someone asked us to be in this position or voted for us because they believed in us. And I think right now that the city of Clairton, like Laura said, we're in a position right now to be very successful, and the future looks bright. And like I said, I couldn't be prouder. I thank God, I thank my parents, my wife, and my family and friends, because this is the day that I've been looking forward to for a long time. Last night I had a little bit of trouble sleeping, woke up early this morning, and I normally don't get nervous, but yeah, I made a couple trips in Davin. But anyway, I am very proud to be here today, and if I miss anybody, I'll be back later. I mean, everybody that's here is somebody significant, because we're only allowed to invite a limited amount of people. So if you're here, there's somebody here for a reason, and thank you very much from the city of Clairton. And I'm going to give the opportunity for my conference state in the world. All right, everybody just hold some dirt here for a minute. Okay, listen, I need the group out there to count from 10 backwards to 1, okay? Let's hear it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,